to the channel that knows nothing. I'm Jim and let's get to it. Welcome to the super random book tag. So let's go. First question in this tag is pick a color that matches your emotion when you read your favorite book. And I'm gonna go with Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. Because this is probably, you know, top 10 favorite book. Maybe even top 5. And the color I've picked is, you know, aqua. Much like the front cover. I'm not very original. Second question in this tag is best book to movie adaptation, and I've got to go with the Maze Runner series on this. They did an excellent job in my opinion. They took all the waffle out of the books and made excellent movies. A lot of people like to disagree with me on that, but like, you can't fault the movies. They took out all the shenanigan with the brain communication and made it a lot better and made it much more simpler to understand. Because I feel like that and a whole lot of a bunch of other stuff that happens in the books is just so much easier with a much more simpler storyline for like to translate onto the screen. Yeah, I really didn't like those books and I've had 2 people fight me on that. So saying that they're great, so that's tough, you know. Question number 3 is name your favorite song at the moment and match a book to it. So my favorite song at the moment is If I Don't Laugh, I'll Cry. And I've decided to match it with Aristotle and Dante Dive Into the Waters of the World. I'll leave a link to the song down below and I'll pop it up here in case people don't know who it's by. It's a very good song. It makes me dance around the house, but like sad dancing, you know. It's a bit sad. Much like this book. Question number 4 in this tag is name a book that puts you into a reading slump. And sadly, it's got to be Daughter of the Deep. I was really disappointed in this book. I'm sorry, Rick Riordan, but what were you thinking? Like, I really wanted to like it. There was a lot of moments I did like it, but I think the overarching plot and everything that was driving some of the characters I didn't like. I really wanted to like it, but I'm also like, no, it was not good. It was bad. Question number 5 in this tag is name a book that you spent too much money on. And nothing comes to mind. I feel like there's probably a lot of books that I have spent too much money on, but I decided to swap it around. It's like, name a book that you spent the least money on that is it should be an expensive book. So Wonderstruck, I got this secondhand for $3 and I don't know what the retail price for this book is, but that just seems like insane, especially with like all the beautiful pictures in here. Like, I was shook and shocked. I mean, I love that I got it for $3, but also it just feels wrong at this point, doesn't it? Question number 6 in this tag is name a book that you wish you had enough money to buy, but don't. So I really love The Art of whatever, like The Art of, it's like the Disney and Pixar generally, and sometimes they do it with games as well. I do not have enough money for these books. I already own like a few of them. This is just one of the many. I think it's one of the 4 I have, but I wish I had money for it. I really want the How to Train Your Dragon ones and the Lightyear one. At the moment, those are very high on my want list of this genre of book or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I really like them, but they are expensive, especially when you get multiple of them at one time. It's just like, wow, I am very poor now. What am I supposed to do? Number 7 is name a group of friends and they can't be from Harry Potter. So if they can't be from Harry Potter, who do you think I'm gonna pick? Percy, Annabeth and Grover, of course. I would have picked them even if Harry Potter was an option. They're so much better than Harry and Ron and Hermione. Like, I love them, but God, they come in not even a very close second. Like a very distant second to these guys. I love them. Hell yeah. Next question in this tag is name your top 3 favorite books. So here we go. Rule of Wolves. Number 1. The Rules of Summer, number 2. And I hit myself in the face a bit. And Of Fire and Stars, number 3. Now, they all have reasons. Number 1, I'm very big on fantasy. And this is like one of my favorite things ever. I love Leigh Bardugo. She's just amazing with words. And I really love the Grishaverse in general. She's made a very in-depth land and rules, and I love most of the characters in it. I say most because I don't stand beside the bad guys, Number 2, Rules of Summer. I am a sucker for art. If that was not clear by a few questions ago when I said I like the art of books, I just love it. And this one is probably some of my favorite art that's ever come out of anything. Look how pretty. I love it. And Of Fire and Stars because it has my favorite trope of not even enemies, but doesn't like them, not even friends. It's not enemies and it's not friends. It's just kind of impartial to them, and then it becomes something more. Also, it's one of the best love triangles that involves 2 girls and 1 guy, and the girls end up being together. Also, just the trope of enemies to lovers. They're not quite enemies, but I do love that trope. My God. It's used again and again. I'm like, yes, give me more. Give me more. Number 9 in this tag is name a book that you will add to your never-ending to-be-read list. And I've got to go with Ubik. My brother recommended it to me, and I will get around to it. It's on the list. It's up here in the brain. I haven't gotten it yet. I feel like this is just a common thing with me. Someone's just recommends a book to me. I'm like, yes, let me write that down. I will get back to you within a year or 2. Just wait for me. I'm not good at reading. I'm not good at being told what to do when it comes to reading. And people are like, you should read this book. I'm like, I don't think I will. Next question in this tag is name a popular book that you don't think you will ever read. And I've got to go with anything by Brandon Sanderson at this point. I have a lot of people in my life that like him. And so now it just feels like a thing out of spite at this point. And a lot, some of them are just no, you really like this, you really like that. But I definitely picked up one of their favorite books at the bookstore, and I was like, I don't even understand what's going on here. There's too many layers to this fantasy, and I need there to be less layers. I do not want to peel the onion. I just want it to, I'm very surface level when it comes to fantasy. It's be simple, be direct. This is how the world works. These are the characters we like. These are the bad guys. Please, surface level, please. With most books, I'm like that. Please don't delve deeper. I'm just I don't care that the Rock's name is Stephen and that we will spend a chapter with him and then never see him again. I feel like that's mean, but that's how I felt when I was reading the back of this book. Next question in this tag is name a movie or TV series adaptation that you binged, and I've got to go with Shadow and Bone. I'm at the point where I should probably rewatch it because the next season's coming out and I don't really remember what happened. I mean, I've read the books, so I'll be right? They can't really deviate much from it, I feel. They already have a bit, but not so much that I'm like, what's going on? I don't understand. Who's Stephanie? Number 12 in this tag is name a book that gives you all the feels, and I've got to go with The Viscount Who Loved Me. I had to pick a romance for this one because it felt weird not picking anything else, another genre. This, because it has my favorite trope in it, enemies to lovers. It works so perfectly. I love Kate. She's my favorite. She's my favorite romantic interest in the entire series, and I love Anthony being a simp. It's the best thing in the entire world. And you can't convince me otherwise. Next question is name a book that is sweet but also sour in some ways, and I've got to go with The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I loathed that book, but also liked it at the same time. It felt like it was too back and forth at some points. I'm like, this is so hectic. Is it ended? What's happening? What? That was my reaction to the entire thing. I just didn't know what to do with any emotion that came out of that book. And I just feel like in his own way, the devil, Luke, whatever you want to call him, did love her. And it's like, she was like, nah, he doesn't. Like, he's gonna, like, up and leave me. I'm like, girl, he's never gonna leave you. He's the toxic boyfriend you wish you never dated, ever. But, yeah, he's not gonna leave you alone. There's not gonna come a time where he's ever gonna let you go. Like, I just, it was painful to read. And it was painful because also she fell in love and then, like, didn't even get to be with him either. I'm like, well, this is just, I've wasted all these pages and I feel like I have not learnt anything. And the last question in this tag is, name a book that has been spoiled for you. And lately it's not been anything. I asked for spoilers, I asked for it. I'm at the point where I'm just like, you know what? If I want to know something, I will just ask somebody who's already read the book and that, or seen the movie or did whatever. Like, I generally just, yeah, I'm not the best. I'm like, what happens? Tell me. I don't like surprises. Please. I'm nervous. Please tell me they don't die. Anyway, guys, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, subscribe, because that is always nice, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.